Now, the rest of the story.
Alright, welcome back. Well, as you can see, I'm getting a good little pile of bales stacked up behind me. They've been rained on a lot. I actually hauled in a bunch of them, about half of them, the night that I baled them. And at least I had the foresight to haul in everything that was at least in the low-lying waterways. So if we did get a spontaneous rainstorm, at least the bales wouldn't have been waterlogged, and that was good judgment on my part, not patting myself on the back. But we ended up getting, the farm had 3 inches in the rain gauge the next morning, so that's yet again why my driveway is all tore up. And to be honest, my driveways pretty much look like this all summer long. This year we have literally had heavy rains about once a week. It's good for the crops. I mean, the corn looks good. Corn looks awesome. Soybeans look pretty good. In the 5 days after they sprayed our beans, and granted there was a little bit of a mixture in the spray they were putting down. It was a bunch of micros, and essentially it was foliar fed. In the 5 days since they sprayed our beans, they jumped 2 nodes in 5 days. Plus this rain really kicked them in the pants. I gotta get out and look at them again, but they're flowering, which they should be at this point of the year, and they're setting nodes and pods, and if I said that right. But if you guys can't tell, I'm kind of out of it. This is like feels like day 20, but it's like day 3 or 4. No Mountain Dew. I have a Mountain Dew addiction. I'm trying to kick it. I mean, this is probably the closest I'll ever be to like nicotine addiction or anything, because I absolutely hate tobacco products. No offense to anybody out there that does the chewing or whatever else, but I don't like it. The problem is drinking too much Mountain Dew. It's starting to get to me. Too much sugar. And needless to say, here the last couple days, when I'm really starting to notice that I haven't been drinking it, it's getting to me. But I came prepared. I don't think my wife knows I took this yet. Really, I don't really care, but she'll still love me. So I needed something to keep me hydrated throughout the day. Calvin's in here, he's being a good boy. Only problem with having your dog with you in the tractor like this, because Calvin is not like Rocket. Rocket is more matted down, has a more of a matte hair style on him. With Calvin, he's a big fluff ball, and he sheds absolutely terribly. So if any of you, I'm quite serious here, if any of you know of a good combing brush, I'm talking Super Duty, for brushing out thick, fluffy dog hair, by all means, either tell me what it is in the comments, or don't leave a link, because if you leave a link, it gets pulled down, because hyperlinks in the comments are always pulled down for a review. But if you guys know anything that works great on getting loose hair out of dog's hair, I'd much appreciate it, because my 7600 needs to be gone through, my truck needs to be gone through. I thought I was done over there, but to be quite honest, I'm pretty sure I just forgot one. I can't see over there. Up by that cornfield over there, there's a grass area, and Trees are gonna block it, so I can't tell. I got to actually drive up there now. But I want to get this stuff, all these bales pulled back in. They are going inside that shed up here you're seeing me drive past. The only problem is it needs some dirt work. Because the cows are able to stand on the side of it in the shade, which is what typically happens, they got the back of that machine shed. Well, yeah, I could use it as a machine shed if I wanted to. But the back of the shed and the front of the shed, the dirt is eroded away from the cows standing in the shade of it throughout the year. So I got to go through and JCB Bobcat, I got to do some woodwork on it, and I got to put some wood or some dirt back up against the wood, level the floor back out so we can actually get some bales stacked in there properly. It needs some tin work. I know somebody's gonna say it, but things, you're never caught up being a farmer on the farm, ever. The weeds down here, I already went through and sprayed them once, and they're starting to come back again. So I'm gonna have to go through and either spray them again or go through with a cutter and try to cut some of them down. Because if you leave them sitting like this, maybe it bothers me more than it bothers other people. I mean, maybe some people out in YouTube, whatever, doesn't really mind seeing the weeds standing even though they're dead throughout the winter. But seeing snow and weeds across the pastures, it's kind of annoying too. So, gotta do that. My driveway's all tore up from the rain, which I've had people telling me I need to concrete it, I need to do asphalt, seal coat it. That's a lot of money. It's going to be a lot of money, or some money, getting the gravel back in that we need to get it filled back in the way it really should be. But here's the thing with my driveway. Whatever weather pattern we're currently in is terrible. I mean, yeah, it's great for the crops. It's not good for the soil. Erosion, driveways. We're getting so much rain in such a short amount of time that you can't stay ahead of it. I mean, if my driveway, when I go through and rebuild it and actually get it built back up, well, there is a bale up there yet. Good thing I didn't forget it. That'd been a nice little surprise. But just for the amount of rain we get, it doesn't come down in simple little half-inch showers anymore. It's inches within like an hour's time frame. So I don't know if this is the new norm or if we're going to get into a dry pattern or what, but it would really be kind of nice to get into harvest and actually be able to get everything done this fall. We haven't really talked much about anhydrous. The goal is to still do anhydrous. That is the plan. Everything that's going to be corn on corn, soybeans, stubble is almost certainly we're going to try to at least get that done with anhydrous. We like the stuff. We didn't do it last year just because of the time constraints and the fact that like this spring, just hearing horror stories of people saying that they were getting 1 tank a day. Well, when we were going through 3 to 4 to 5 tanks a day ourselves when we were actually applying it, we didn't have the time to really mess around with that this spring. And we had already decided that we weren't going to do anhydrous anyway. But we did go through, maybe it's over management, maybe it's too much. But what we ended up doing, for those of you that have already heard this, you're about to hear this again. But we did go through, we put the starter down with the corn planter. Then they used liquid 28 as a carrier for our first pass. Our first pass of the corn, which gave a little bit more of a nitrogen. A little bit of nitrogen available for the corn there as the roots were still trying to develop before it would be able to get to everything else that we broadcasted beforehand. And then the plan was across everything we were going to top dress, which we didn't. We went through and top dressed the majority of our farms. I side dressed all of my corn with the cultivator. But even though I side dressed it, we're going to be going through here. Andrew wanted to go through today, but it's just too wet yet. Hopefully within the next couple days, hopefully I can get a video of that for you. Probably won't be riding along with him, just for the simple fact that I really don't want to distract the guy doing that, because the corn is tasseling at this point, and the last thing I want to see is standing stalks getting knocked over on us. So once we get the side dressing done, we're pretty well done as far as any more applications for our corn, for our crops. All that'll be left is a fungicide pass. And yes, I do have some of mine that will be sprayed regardless, just because of the corn that I planted. It's susceptible to disease. It's very susceptible to tar spot, which is not the end of the world, because at least we already know that tar spot is, last I heard, it's about 50 miles from home, and depending on the weather, if it'll hit. But the field that we're going to be doing fungicide on, without a doubt, it's actually going to be the whole field. It'll be the corn and soybeans. It's the whole farm is contoured and stripped. So we're going to get a little bit of that benefit on the soybeans with the fungicide applied also. So we haven't done much fungicide in the past. We have done some. This farm got a third of it hit with hail last year, right before our first pass, second pass of corn, or second pass spray. So they ended up putting Trivapro in, and it definitely did help the plant health later in the year, especially bouncing back from that too. Because a lot of the plants, the whole bottom third of the plant, let me rephrase that, the plants were only about 3 feet tall, and they're about up to my waist, and they were over 60% damaged. And the corn still yielded, I think it was like 180, 190. So it wasn't 200. Close enough. So, alright, I gotta get done with this. We got some more hay we gotta haul in. I don't know if I'll try to grab some footage of that. Then all the hay will be hauled in for second crop. I gotta get this stuff put in sometime here, but the bales gotta dry out because they've been rained on. The hay was baled kinda dry on the edge of, you know, maybe it was a little bit of moisture in it, but we let it go for a little while. We'll be fine. All right, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, thanks for listening to me rant and ramble a little bit, but I got 3 more bales to haul in and I gotta get on with the rest of my day. So take care, take it easy, keep in touch. I'll talk to you guys later.